everyone, I'm the Vacuuminator.
I'm Buster.
And this week in Toku, we're going to be discussing SHF re-releases, Blazar character focus, and what's in store for 2024. But before all that, Buster, how you been doing?
I've been working a lot. I already got the 2 videos. One is going to be out by the time this podcast is out, and the other is going to come out next week. I already got 2 videos for August done, which is kind of crazy. And then, yeah, been thinking, just kind of been in a video making mood since I have a lot of free time. So.
Nice.
Yeah, how are you, Mr. Vac?
Oh my god, this weekend was fucking insane.
Oh yeah, I heard.
I don't have time. I don't want to go into full-on details, but Saturday was a whole can of worms, and then and I had to push back filming this month's videos to Sunday, and then I woke up late on Sunday, so I only got 2 out of the 4 shots, and then we had to drive across the state to go visit extended family people, and that was a nice time, but the whole time I was just like, gotta get back in time for no prize, and we barely did, so it's been a whole time. But on the bright side, I had a good workout today. I went to Target and they had all of the fucking fall exclusives. So I'm not worried about that at all. Nothing tokusatsu related, unfortunately, but lots of good stuff. And yeah, just been watching the new episodes for the last little bit and chilling. But you know what we're not going to be able to chill out with this week? Kamen Rider Outsiders. Episode 3 came out last week. I was expecting it to get subbed by this week, and it just hasn't. So I just wanted to make it clear for everybody up front. It's still not subbed as of this recording, so we're not going to be talking about it this episode. We will talk about it as soon as it is subbed. Be patient with us.
You should also be patient with Modular Media.
Yeah, just be good about things in general. Help us out in the algorithm. Give us a like. Give us a comment. Comment about something. We actually got some comments actually addressing shit we were saying about the show last week, and I was super happy with that, even though they were pointing out that I was wrong about things.
Oh, okay.
In a polite way of just actually what you said, you totally didn't understand what was going on in that scene. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. I'm glad somebody left a comment about something like that for once. So keep those comments up, keep liking, keep subscribing if you haven't already. Go ahead and ring that bell, enable notifications, follow Modular Media on social media. We're on Twitter at Modular Media, on TikTok at Modular Media, and on Tumblr at Modular Media. But that's all the pugging and tugging I gotta do this week. Let's get on to the news, and it's actually a fairly well-sized news week this week. First and foremost, I'm gonna get into just something silly that I saw and kind of made me smile. So Godzilla fans are probably all well aware of the classic location that is from Godzilla vs. Gigan, the original Showa era movie, of Godzilla Tower, which was essentially like a Godzilla-themed theme park in universe that is all tied up in the human plot in that movie, and it's also just a really cool prop for Godzilla and Gigan to smash in the final fight of the movie. And somebody's friggin' making a replica of that. A company I've never heard of before. I'm assuming these are the people making it. It might be somebody reporting on it, but at Shonen_RIC_XP reported that this replica of it, which looks to be about the size of a lamp, I would say, is going to be releasing in December. And that's one of those things where it's like, man, if I wasn't already spending all of my money on specific figures and stuff, and I just bought oddball things, this is definitely something I would go for right away. I love that somebody made this. You got anything to add, Buster? You ever see Godzilla vs. Gigan?
No, I should.
You should. Of the handful of Godzilla films I've seen, it's a fun one. It's not like the best in the world, but it's a fun, goofy Showa movie. But what's not goofy and not Showa is scans about the currently airing shows. We got all the August scans in this week, so we're just going to talk about them as we go along. First off, Blazar had some scans that showed off a bunch of new kaiju, as well as Earth Garon's going to get shoulder cannons.
Yeah, I like how they're like gonna probably slowly be upgrading Earth Garon as it goes on.
I gotta say, of everything in this, the thing that had me popping the most is it's not exactly like that design, but there's a new kaiju coming in a future episode that looks very much aesthetically similar to the final evolution of my favorite Pokemon, Torterra. And man, if they make a vinyl of this guy, I might have to get it.
I mean, I think they are, and like the kaijus are selling super well for Blazar in like vinyls and stuff. So it's like I could see them making like kaijus of everyone. My personal favorite one is the one like the yellow and black like little striped shirt.
The bee people.
Yeah, the bee people, and I'm like that. Their shot in the opening is really good, and like I am very interested to hear their story. And also, it's kind of nice that like it's been a while since like we've had Toku scans that focus on the monsters. It's always usually about the new forms, but since Blazar doesn't really have many forms, it's like here are the foes we're fighting this month, you know? So it's back to basics in a charming way, you know?
Yeah. Also, Blazar's getting a new attack that's like a color pinwheel thing. Looks neat.
That might be magazine exclusive because it's like bundled with a Blazar like stone, and we all know there's like one stone so far. We'll see.
Oh.
I could be wrong. I've heard it's basically just magazine exclusive for now.
Oh,
it could
okay.
be, or at least the stone is. That attack could show up in the show. We'll see.
Yeah, because I was looking at the attack and I'm like, that looks neat, but it's one of those attacks that's like it's only going to look neat in motion the first time he uses it. But that's all we got to talk about with Ultraman this week. We do have a little bit of Sentai news and a lot of bit of writer news. So first off, Sentai-wise, the Toei-owned anime Shin-chan is doing a line of little figurines of the characters from Shin-chan cosplaying as various Super Sentai heroes. And I think this is adorable. This is the kind of thing we would normally skip over, but it looked cute enough, and it felt like really neat and how brand synergistic it was that I was like, man, I would be kind of tempted to pick some of these up if I knew anything about Shin-chan.
Honestly, I've only heard Shin-chan in like relating to Toku, like crossovers for like he did a Shin Kamen Rider crossover.
Yeah, when they had the guy in the Shin-chan suit for friggin' Geats that one week.
Yeah, and I think you'll like it because Shin-chan is dressed as one of your favorite Sentai Reds, Yamato from Zyuohger.
Yeah, they got Yamato in here.
They got a good chunk of the Dawn brothers.
Yeah, most of these are Dawn brothers. There's a Kiji brother, there is a Oni sister, and a Saru brother. But
yeah,
also,
and then the baby is Momotaro, huh? And you got a little cat as Inu brother.
I didn't even realize that's what he was. I thought he was like an alternate color version of somebody. That's great. And some also just like some fun random pulls, like I forget what her exact name, but the yellow Bioman is in here.
Yeah, and then you got the green Magi Ranger, and then of course, because Kyoryuger 10th anniversary, you got Kyoryu Blue.
Mm-hmm.
So
honestly, as far as figures go, I think my favorites are the mom and dad because I just like how normal they look. Like they look like actual cosplayers. Yeah. And the Magi Green. There's something about him that just looks wonderfully goofy.
Yeah, just Shin-chan just in general has funny character design, so it's nice to see them like interpreted in different ways.
Yeah, glad they did that. Maybe I'll pick up one of these one day if I see them at like a random con or something. But hey, let's talk about stuff happening in the future because King-Ohger has its August scans, which are mainly just like, hey, here's what Caucasus King Castle looks like. Isn't it a cool suit? Here's the big clusterfuck ultra sword. Isn't that something?
We are so back, man. We are so back. We have cluster. It's a real suit. It's a cluster. We are so back.
I think it looks almost as it's like only just slightly less of a clusterfuck than Ultimate Shinkeno.
Yeah. Although then again, I think Ultimate Shinkeno has like a really good conceit behind the cluster because it's a chair. So
yeah. Though,
Oh yeah, I
like,
remember I blew your mind about that one day.
yeah, though, like, Ultimate Shinkeno still, I don't think will ever be topped unless we get another Ultra Zord that is literally just, here's two Zords dangling off the side on sticks. That will never not be hilarious to me about Ultimate Shinkeno.
Yeah. Yeah, but like just cool shit. Cool.
Mhm.
I
Also, it
I would.
looks like the big bads are going to get their asses kicked pretty soon, so I wonder if we're switching the villains up soon.
Yeah, I mean, like we already were talking about this with the incoming Kyoryuger crossover, but like they're kind of peaking early in terms of like we're fighting everyone.
Yeah.
Um,
There's
also,
gotta be there's gotta be something else. There's gotta be
yeah,
something coming.
yeah, like maybe Jeremy's gonna do something because we still kind of haven't resolved his shtick.
Yeah.
Like
I
we'll see.
feel like that's definitely going somewhere as well.
Yeah.
But where we're going is back in time because Tamashii Nations announced that they are doing re-releases of the SH Figuarts for the cast of Heisei Generations. We are getting re-releases of and these are not Senchoku Seihos. These are re-releases of the original Figuarts for Kamen Rider GO, Kamen Rider Build, Kamen Rider Ghost, Kamen Rider X-Aid, and Kamen Rider Drive. And you may say, why are you reporting on this? Nobody cares. It's just re-releases. It's the same thing we had before in a box. But actually, this is the first time most of these riders are going to be re-released with their standard weapons, because a lot of these riders were happening during the period where Bandai went really hard on the main rider. It's just the main rider in his hands. You want his weapon, you gotta buy this other character. So if you are like me and you always wanted a Drive Figuart, but you didn't want to have to buy all three of the base forms to get the weapons, gentlemen, our time has come. January 2024. These are coming, and I'm gonna at least get Kamen Rider Drive, I think.
I have the build figure art already, like, and it is a really good figure art. So if you want the build figure art, I get a high recommendation from me.
Yeah, and I remember hearing good things about Drive at the time. I was just like, man, I want the freaking door gun and the steering sword, but I'll be fucked if I'm gonna buy Type
Yeah.
Technique.
Yeah, that's like, come on, like, well, part of my favorite parts of Drive are the weapons, so it's like that's kind of like I might get
Yeah.
X-Aid because X-Aid was the first show I watched week to week, so we'll see.
But if you're looking for something a little newer, this week Bandai announced SH Figuarts Kamen Rider Gazer, and he looks about as you'd expect. There's nothing really surprising about this figure. It's just a really solid repaint and slight remold of the Kamen Rider
Glare.
Glare. Yes, I was trying to think, is it Glare or Laser? But no, Laser's an X-Aid character. Um,
Yeah.
and yeah, it looks really good. I will admit, I do really like the way this suit looks as a figure, but it's not like one of my favorite characters. So I don't know if I'll be picking this
Yeah.
up anytime soon. Um, but what I will be picking up is a magazine to look at yet more scans, because the Kamen Rider Geats August scans are here, and there's not like a whole ton that's real surprising about these. Like, nothing major is revealed here. Just like some interesting moments to pick up on. Like, for example, we're gonna get to see the whole gang standing together and having a big triumphant moment pretty soon.
Yeah, which makes sense because this is the final month of the show.
Yeah. Also, there's a little insert shot next to Buffa in that first image, where you can see him delivering a kick to somebody wearing a pretty familiar looking mask.
Yeah, maybe Glare will come back or something. I don't know.
Be interesting to see if like he does actually end up being the big bad all along.
Yeah, I don't know. Geats is kind of like all over the place, all over the place in a fun way, but like kind of like I don't know what to expect, but I know it'll be good, you know.
They really did like curb stomp the traditional writer show format, didn't they?
Yeah, they're like I have no idea what's happening. Like, and
Yeah.
it's like even Geats' own format, I feel like they've curb stomped because I'm like, okay, whatever. Also, there's a bunch of movie scans here because you see Geats.
Yeah, there's some stuff featuring the movie baddie, and also just below that I have linked in other scans of like promotional material you got when you went to see the movie, we now have clear images of what Kamen Rider Geats Oneness looks like, and it looks fine.
Like it because like there's a bit of the clothing that looks like Geats's how do I explain it? Geats's like uniform that he wore in like the second episode with the fancy like flags on his chest. I don't know, but it just looks like something Ace would wear in real life, and they just adapted that into a Geats suit. Also, something about Geats Oneness: the buckle uses Gotchard cards.
Yeah, so maybe that's Gotchard's cameo in the movie. He shows up and he fights some dudes, and then he hands Geats a card and a buckle.
Yeah,
Like, here, you will need this later.
and then that will get elaborated on the crossover movie.
Yeah,
we'll see.
So that MacGuffin will probably transform. Will probably like magically get transformed into crossover movie MacGuffins.
Yeah, just MacGuffin to MacGuffin.
Yeah, but speaking of Gotchard, we've gotten quite a bit more news on Gotchard in the last week. We have the first official teaser. We have official announcements of the toys and how they're going to work. And I gotta admit, I'm not feeling this one. Like
the show or the toy line?
Everything. Like,
Oh,
I wanna like the show. I'm not gonna like. I'm gonna go into it with an open mind, but I don't like any of these suits. The driver seems super boring. Cards don't appeal to me at all. And like, unless the cast just seems like super cool people, then I am literally relying on your word that Keiichi Hasegawa is a great writer, Buster.
oh God, yeah. I am personally really into the trailer's just action scenes of like, here's the transformation without the face. Here is Gotchard doing a cool thing, and we see a new rider.
We see a new pseudo writer who I believe is called Ballard or Ballard.
Yeah, who will like I think he'll become a writer later, but right now this form we're seeing for him is Vallard, and I kind of love this suit because Gotchard is very steamy and clean, while this guy is pretty dirty and ragged down.
I gotta admit, I like the contrast, but I don't like the suit itself just because I don't like how grungy it looks. Like, that doesn't appeal to me visually. And I have like the exact opposite problem with Gotchard's suits, because we also see his second form in this teaser, which I believe is called Splendid Skateboard.
Yeah.
I don't like that they're chromed. I don't like that so much of it is focused around the chest and the head, and the undersuit looks super plain. It doesn't feel like good design philosophy for me. Like, with Geats, you can kind of logic it out of like the reason so many of them just have a bunch of upper body armor is because you have to have a whole other toy to get lower body armor. But here it just feels like they stopped designing the suit at some point.
I still think the parts are like kind of the parts they do design are pretty brilliant. Like they have a little alchemy boiling thing on his chest. Someone pointed that out this week, and I'm like, oh, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. Like,
See,
I'm just
again, from like a world mechanics perspective, I get that. But with how much it juts out from his chest and like the ends of it being chromed, it doesn't work for me. It looks like something that should be on a mecha, not a person.
I disagree, but fair. But yeah, I'm still very excited. Got a very youthful sounding character here. So
yeah, well, the rumor is he's a high schooler.
Yeah. Oh no, they have confirmed that. Remember, it was.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I will say in regards to the toys, even though I think the driver looks super boring because it's literally just you stick the cards in and you barely pull a thing, it seems like it's much more about like the LEDs. I do like that they took the gimmick item holder toy this year and they made it like a wrist mounted thing. So it's it's easier drawing cards, like sort of like in Yu-Gi-Oh! And also it just changes up the silhouette of it, and it almost gives me like a pseudo drive vibe with how he would have to use a thing on his wrist to activate the belt doing stuff.
Yeah, I love the card holder. It's, as a Yu-Gi-Oh fan, it tickles my fancy.
Mm-hmm. And also, just speaking about the cards, due to like just scans and things getting out, people have been able to translate and decipher that there's going to be a bunch of different categories for the cards: insect, vehicle, job, animal, artifact, plant, and blank. So Lots of mixing and matching potential going on here. And again, because just a bunch of shit came out, people figured out what a lot of the forms are going to be. Should we go through these, or should we just
No,
say, yeah, because it's
let's
kind of
wait.
spoilery.
And also, just like we don't even know how the eyes are gonna look on most of these forms. It's
I mean,
just
they're
literally
just going to be more arrows.
Yeah, true. Well, like different kinds of arrows. Those arrows could determine the size. But like, I just want to say, this feels like build on crack. Like with all
Yeah.
the.
I
Like,
am really wondering, like, how many of these forms are going to be like side grades that they just shit out in the first 10 episodes, and how many of these are actually going to be matter? Because there's so many forms for Gotchard already.
maybe they'll be like it'll be like what's it, Saber and the Ghost, where it's like you like can mix and match, but like different writers can get those forms too. You know what I
Oh
mean?
god, I would love that.
Like Gaim too. So I think that's more likely, honestly, especially
Because
with
that's
how
a
like.
thing Toei or Bandai and Toei always tease is like, oh, you can use this gimmick item with any other gimmick item, and it all mixes and matches for the toy line. And I'm like, you're going to do that in the show, right? We're going to see somebody else use those cards in the show, right? And then like it happens in one episode for one scene.
Yeah. But
So
I again, these forms could not even be Gotchard forms. They could just be like forms of other writers to begin. We'll see. We'll see.
yeah,
Um,
fingers crossed. But that is all the news that's fit to print. Buster, you want to take us on to those new releases?
yeah, got a lot of fun stuff here. We got Ultraman Blazar, episode 4. Thus fought Emmy.
I thought this episode was pretty solid. I
Yeah, it
didn't
was
love
really
it,
fun.
but it was solid.
It was really fun. It was a nice focus episode showing what makes Emmy tick. Just kind of like how she does. I love how she's like no nonsense. It's like she goes for it and because like when she gets pissed off that like the corporation, not the corporate, the military, the upper heads of Scarred are like
The top
doing
brass.
top brass are like saying you can't do this anymore. She's just like I'm gonna get this over with, and she like fights all the dude. Also, the over the top caricature of the like millionaire that they not even over the top. That's just
I
a
can't
millionaire.
believe they put Elon Musk in Ultraman.
Yeah, gosh. But like, yeah, that he was a really funny character, but also like kind of like interesting in the way like they actually in the dub they dubbed the song, and I was like, that's a
Yeah, I was so happy about that.
yeah, that was a really good attention to detail. So like the Blazar dub keeps winning, but like it's just that song, the way they use it throughout the episode, it's very interesting. And I know it's very simply interesting because it's like again, it's a very one note character, but it's like
Yeah.
it still adds a bit like of intrigue.
And like
to the
that
character.
song is why I specifically get an Elon Musk vibe from him, because he keeps going on and on about like, yeah, I don't actually care about the money. I just want everybody to love and respect and look up to me. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that's everything I always hear about why Elon does as much batshit stupid stuff as he does, because he's just trying to do what he thinks will please people.
Yeah, it's very interesting. It's a very interesting mindset to delve into, and like the analysis we do get in this episode is pretty good. And then Emmy and Gento's dynamic is really cute here.
Yeah,
It's like,
I love the bit at the end where they have like that big awesome karate fight, and then like the brace appears and he's like, "Shit, go, go,
Yeah.
what, why, just go! I gotta do a thing over here."
It was great. Like both, especially the dub, they did a really good job. I did watch both the sub and dub, and I'm like, both actors in each version do great jobs.
Yeah, I find it interesting that we keep alluding to his family, and like everybody on the team seems to know about his family, but we still haven't like actually seen him interact with them. I
Yeah.
wonder if they're like dragging that out for like a very specific purpose.
It's either gonna be like a nth game reveal or around before the mid-season finale. We're gonna see something about it. That's my guess.
Does Ultraman do mid-season finales?
You've watched 2 shows that do mid-season. You've watched 3 shows. Zed, Trigger, and Decker. They do mid-season finales.
I don't recall. But like I think of a mid-season finale of like the show goes on break for a little while. I don't remember Ultraman ever doing that.
Show. The break is the clip show in episode 13.
Okay, see, I'm used to American terminology where mid-season finale means you're not going to see this show for 4 months after this episode.
No, mid-season for me. Mid-season finale is this is the halfway point. So it's.
I mean, I guess that makes sense for Ultraman, but like that's not how American TV does it. But I still got like flashbacks from back in the day when Doctor Who would be like, "Here's half a season. All right, see you in a year and a half."
Yes, they still do that shit, right?
Yeah, this is fucking so stupid. But yeah, this episode was pretty solid. The only like real problem I had with it is just the way they beat the monster. Which, by the way, the monster was awesome looking. I love the way they designed it. It looked like if you tried to make a practical suit of one of the Stranger Things monsters.
Yeah, it's good shit.
But the way they defeat it, they pour liquid nitrogen on it, and then Blazar just blows it up, and I'm like, wait, nobody ever tried that. This monster has been. They say this monster has been attacking for weeks and weeks, and it's like you just went right to that guy using his special stuff. Did that not make everyone immediately suspicious of him? Like, why is this something you needed Scarred for?
I don't know. Whatever. Yeah, but good episode. Good Blazar. Now we're going to move on to my personal favorite part of this week's episodes. Surprisingly, because I've kind of been, like, okay on this show. Kamen Rider Geats, episode 46, Genesis 8? Farewell, Michi?
This episode was alright.
I love this. I feel like we're finally getting... I'm, like, understanding, like, the Ace's little message and just him, so they finally answered my question. So the final arc isn't going to be, like, a tower defense. It's basically... Like, Ace, right now, he's kind of tied up by the chains of, like, these are the consequences of my actions.
Yeah,
and
somebody remembered that there was a lot of barbed wire imagery in the intro.
Yeah, and it's good shit. And Ace is basically like, Keiwa, you need to actually, like, trust first. I know that's not what he says, but I find it funny.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Yeah, I just love trust last puns. But, like, yeah, like, Ace is like, Keiwa, snap out of it. Keiwa's finally like.
I mean, he was already doing that last episode, but now he's like, okay, this is why you had to snap out of it, so you could see this.
Yeah, and like Neon, and like the it's also enhanced by Neon and Michinaga's interactions this episode. And like even just saving Nudge Sparrow, it's like you gotta like it's like we shouldn't excuse humanity's sins. We should see the good in a human being, or something. We should see the good we can do, or like the good someone has done, or it was like something like that.
Yeah.
I'm kind of mixing up the words, but like you get what I mean.
Anyone who is still in this point in time, which is malleable, is worth saving. The only reason that people from the future aren't worth saving is because they refuse to, because they started all of this and they're just continuously trying to perpetuate it. Yeah. Whereas like everybody who's still in this point in time has the potential to be redeemed. Like Nudge Sparrow gets redeemed and has even been helping them a lot these last couple episodes.
Yeah, it's a very interesting use of time travel. And like, this isn't a time travel show, but it's like it probably has some of like the best time travel thematics in any Kamen Rider. It's not even like explicitly about time travel. And that's just super smart.
Yeah.
And then like Michi's final battle was pretty good. The CGI fricka form was actually cool.
It looked way better than it did last time we saw it.
Yeah, it was, probably because they had really good choreography. They had a vision for like how we're gonna have this fight shot, and that's again why I like King-Ohger's fights. They have vision. Michi.
The only problem I had with that whole fight is he does have like a Deus Ex Machina new form save thing, but it's the like baddie form he had from his fuckboy arc. I wish he had gotten a new form here.
Yeah, maybe they're saving that for the B cinema, but like it's also like Kamen Rider, you're reclaiming evil powers for good, so it works.
Oh yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, and even then, just they have the suit, why not? It looks good. Resourcefulness.
And I will admit, I was pretty hype when after the fight, fucking Keiwa shows up and he's like, "All right, we're bros now. We're gonna fix this.
We're gonna fix this." Did Michi die, or am I thinking?
No, Baraba died.
Baraba died. I know Baraba died.
He just barely survived the fight. He goes into the fight and he's like, "I do not care if I die. I'm going to defeat you to save Sarah and redeem myself."
I don't know why. I guess because the episode title's throwing me off, and I keep thinking like they both died at the same time.
You're thinking this is a Showa era episode?
Yeah, or some shit like that. I don't know. I did watch it. I want to be clear. It's been a bit since. And words. Also, the little like the dialogue exchange between Keiwa and Kekekera or something. I butchered that name. Kekera. Keiwa and Kekera, like of them like interacting to like hype up the next episode, and the next episode is called Geats 9.
Is that what it's called? I thought it was called something else.
Oh well, it's Genesis 9. It's Genesis 9. Still, 9 is an important number.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Genesis 9, but like, let me open my episode and see what the actual title of the episode is besides the arc number. You can keep talking.
But I really enjoyed this episode. Like, it really feels like Geats is not finally, that sounds really mean, but like, I finally understand what Geats is going for, and like, I'm really into this final arc, honestly.
It's called Genesis 9, A True Kamen Rider.
Oh, okay, yeah, but still, that's, ooh, tasty title.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go into the weakest episode, oddly enough. It's not a bad episode, but I
Damn. Buster, I don't want to play with you anymore.
No, it's not like that. Osama Sentai King-Ohger, episode 22, The Great Shugon Formation. This, like, felt the most we got. The thing about this episode is, I know Sentai does have episode and arcs where it's like, we gotta set up the new mech. Dawn Brothers didn't really have anything like that, so it feels like a weird, like...
It feels like a backward step.
Yeah.
And it's also, like, it comes at a weird spot in the show, because it feels like it's building... It's like, okay, we're about to do a big crescendo where we get the final mech, and it's like, you're only 22 episodes in, and also, you just had a big crescendo for the story. Like... You couldn't have tried to intertwine these two things more? Like, yeah, they did set it up in the episode where Hercules gets murderized, but, by the way, they fucking found his body. Dude's actually dead. There was setup. They did say, like, okay, this is coming, we're laying the seeds for this during that whole point in the show, but the fact that it's now like, oh, and now there's a bigger, badder guy who felt like he was just supposed to be a throwaway bad guy to show that, like, the team's all together last episode, but no, now he could, like, fucking nuke all of Shogadam, and we gotta stop him, and we need a bigger robot to do that. It feels very out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's like, it just feels like, we already ended one arc, just start a next arc with little to... I don't know, and like, also probably they're trying to, like... Conspiracy theory time. They're trying to clean shop before the Kyoryuger crossover comes in.
Oh, that's definitely what's going on. Like, I think the whole 30s are going to get hijacked by Daigo.
Yeah, and then my theory is 30s, Kyoryuger, 10th anniversary, crossover, whatever. And then 40s, Jerby finally gets his, like, hey, wait a minute. He does a whole, like, fuckboy arc.
Wasn't I supposed to unite the Bugnarok and everybody?
Yeah, because he was cooking something, and I'm like, he needs to get on that soon.
Yeah, well, he's probably not gonna for a while, but
yeah.
And it's also not helped by the fact that, like, there's another big crescendo in this where the show gods that we already have all, like, give their approval to Gira again, and it's like, okay, so he's gonna summon Caucasus Castle, right? And then he goes in there and he starts to summon it, and then it's like, nah, we're gonna do that next episode.
Yeah,
we're gonna do a whole other episode building up to this thing again, just to get the side characters involved. Which, okay, I like the side characters, great, but like,
it just kind of feels like filler.
You're really drawing this shit out in a weird way.
This feels like thematic filler, where it's like, this is just what the show's been, and I'm like, we're not really advancing what the show's been, you know?
I mean, don't get me wrong, there's good moments in here. Like,
very good moments.
I like seeing Yama come around to the idea that the show gods might actually be alive. I like the whole bit with Suzume was fucking hilarious. Yeah, that's it. I like those two things. The rest of it was kind of whatever.
Yeah, just like, kind of sad because King-Ohger was like my guy for a while, so you know, it's kind of entering the second. Yeah. I know.
And there's no episode, like, for me personally, I know you really liked Geats, but for me, there's no episode that really gassed me up this week. Everything was just kind of okay. And, like, that's fine. You gotta have weeks like that sometimes, but it's just weird.
Yeah, just, you know. But hopefully next week we'll get more cooking, but what have you been cooking in the meantime?
I watched another 3 episodes of 1971 this week. They were fine. Nothing of real note happens in them. It was a miracle that I got to watch these, but right now the show is like, yeah, this is a good episode of the week plot. I like this. I'm waiting for Ichimonji to get back. And also, the place I had been watching a fan sub of, they got their shit wrecked by Toei.
You're gonna have
So
to go on Tubi.
yeah, I finally started watching this on Pluto TV, and I gotta say the upload they have of it is way higher quality than I was expecting. And the subs are pretty solid. So
Yeah, I mean they're the Shout Factory version, and those are
yeah,
really, and by all accounts, every comment under Shout Factory has touched has been gold. So yeah,
except for the box quality.
yeah. Well, like sub quality, but like Sentai they're hit and miss on, but like Kamen Rider because there's less of it, they put more effort into it.
Yeah. But hey, I have unlimited data right now, and the Pluto TV app is free, so should be a good sailing with this until the end of it. I don't know what I'm gonna do next now though.
Yeah. Are you just gonna keep watching 1971, or are you?
I'm gonna finish 1971 before I start anything else, but I don't know what or how I'm going to start something else next because the place I was watching 1971 had everything and it's gone now, so
Yeah.
I have to like be very careful about what I pick next.
Well, I mean, all of Ultraman's on Pluto and Tubi, so you're good.
That's true. I could start watching that. I could start Ryuki. I did download all of the new Agito fan sub just to like have it. So
Yeah, so, yeah, we'll talk about it. I didn't watch anything this week because I was too busy watching Earthspark and working on upcoming videos. So yeah.
all right. Well, why don't you tell people where they can find those upcoming videos?
On the Buster Corp channel, today I released a video on the comics of Jaime Reyes' Blue Beetle because I'm excited for that movie, but support the writer's strike and actor strike anyway. And also because the Penny video I did about Penny Parker did really well, so that's gonna be like an ongoing series. But if you like Toku stuff, a video on Ultraman Gaia is incoming, so stay tuned for that. Very excited about that video. It's one of my arguably my most politically charged, but we'll see.
May I make a request for the comics of
Yeah, sure.
Nadia Van Dyne?
I'll look into that.
I can make you a custom reading order, sir, because I've been following that character since she was introduced in 2015, 2016, I want to say it was.
Yeah, well, I know where to look for reading orders, but you can also look for me at the Buster Corp Twitter, for as long as Twitter still exists, BusterBully3. Also have Patreons and Ko-Fis. Yeah, that's it.
All right. I'm the Vacuuminator. I make YouTube videos. They're things I'm fairly proud of. I just put out a video on the life and times of one of my personal heroes, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I'm going to be having a Tokusatsu video coming out at the end of this week. So go over there and subscribe and do all the YouTube things. Follow me on TikTok for clips of my older videos. That's at the _Vacuuminator. You can follow me on Instagram for daily action figure photography. I'm posting photos of my Figuarts Zenkaiser and Ultraman Z right now. So that's going to be at the _Vacuuminator. And you can also see all of my content collated on a regular basis on Twitter at the Vacuuminator and Tumblr, thevacuuminator.tumblr.com. But folks, that does it for this week in Tokusatsu. Shortest one we've done in a while. But we'll see you back here next week for whatever happens that week in Tokusatsu.